By what authority? The high priest, the scribes, and the elders, they wanted to know from Jesus. They asked him that question there in the temple when he was teaching. By what authority are you teaching these things? Who gave you this authority? And as I told you on Monday, that Jesus did not answer that question. And instead, he diverted. And he asked them a question concerning John the Baptist. He says, did the baptism of John, was it from heaven or was it of man? They would not touch that question. And so Jesus said, if you're not going to answer my question, then I'm not going to answer your question. So Jesus didn't answer it. But I took you to the book of Hebrews, and I showed you how that God gave Jesus the authority. But we have others in the Scripture who understood the authority of God. And we find this in the story that's given to us in the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke concerning the birth of Jesus Christ. Matthew tells us about it. He said that there were wise men who came to Jesus because they saw a star in the east. And they had read up on it. They had studied about it. They knew that this was the birth of God. And so they traveled a long distance. They first went to Herod in Jerusalem, and Herod was all freaked out about this. And he said, go and find the child and let me know where they are, that I may worship him also. And of course, he was nothing but a bald-faced liar. So they found the baby in Bethlehem. And Scripture says they came and they presented gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, because we know that the gold represented the royalty of Christ. You see, they understood who he was. They understood the authority that he had. They brought the gold that represented his royalty. They brought the frankincense that represented praise unto him as God. And then they brought the myrrh. And basically, the myrrh was used as an embalming fluid. In other words, it represented death. But not only death, but the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. You see, they understood his authority. They understood who he was as Lord of Lords and King of Kings, as the great high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, given the authority by God himself. Yes. So the question is that why did he not answer the question? And I think it's very, very simple. These people were not in a place of belief. They wouldn't have understood it. They would not have understood the royalty of Christ and the work of redemption that he has accomplished. And there are many, many in this world today who don't understand, and perhaps you may be one of them, but I'm just here to tell you that his authority is from God and that he loves you so much that he died for you on the cruel cross of Calvary. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.